Hey guys, hope this video find everyone's well. I decided to do something a little different this time around, and since we have no racing this season and no group rides even, as of yet at least, I decided to record my FTP test from this morning, Saturday, April 4th. I told myself, let me go to the park and see if it's busy, because obviously I can't do an FTP test and go all out for 20 minutes in a park when it's busy. And surprisingly, even though it was a beautiful Saturday, as you can see, afternoon, the park was relatively empty. I think people are too scared to go out and even ride in the park, which is the right thing to do, but it's good for me. Not a lot of people. I'm not riding anywhere next to anyone, as you can see, avoiding people as much as I can, but it was empty. Anyway, here we are at my second lap right now. After the downhill, usually I like to do as part of the warm-up, I'm putting 5 minutes all out. Not really all out, it's just like opening the legs, so I don't want to kill myself in this 5 minutes. And starting right here. So this 5 minutes I'm usually taking, I know more or less what's my FTP, I'm just adding a few more watts, almost like a VO2 max effort. I was aiming towards the 310, 315 here, which I think this is what I average for like around 5 minutes, just to open up the legs. So I'll let you guys watch it. It's gonna be a little boring for most people. If you guys want to, you can just forward to the end of the video and see what's my FTP numbers. I guess everybody are interested to see the numbers, but for now I'm just gonna leave you with my 5 minutes effort here. I will add some comments every now and then though, so if you want to watch the whole thing, you're more than welcome. So since I'm riding with power for about 10 years now, I can tell right away, even from that leg opener of 5 minutes here, I can tell right away where I am, more or less. This 5 minutes I'm aiming towards a certain number, which I know is probably just a little bit more than my FTP, and just by feel. If I feel that it's relatively easy for 5 minutes, when I'm done with that 5 minutes, I know what I should aim for around on my 20 minutes effort later on. And if it's really hard, then I know probably my FTP is a little lower than what I think it is. But anyway, I can almost tell while riding. All I need is just a few minutes of effort, measured effort, and I can almost pinpoint where my FTP is. So I was really happy to aim towards around 315, 320. This is what I really wanted to do, and I felt pretty good on the morning right away, and knew what number to hold on my 20 minutes FTP test. What I want to say, I guess, is that this 5 minutes didn't really feel that hard. I was really surprised how empty the park is for Saturday afternoon in such a beautiful weather. So we're almost getting to the uphill section on Prospect Park, and what I usually like to do is I'm dividing the park based on the effort that I have to do. So if it's 5 minutes, I usually start, as you saw, right at the bottom of the downhill section into the flat and finishing it right at the top of the hill, it gives me just around 5 minutes, which I know it's a 5 minutes effort, and this is where I'm usually putting the section is starting on the downhill and I'm finishing it right at the top of the hill. So we are close, we're getting close, as you can see on the bottom left there, we are getting close to 5 minutes effort. And even though I can obviously hammer right now and go to the 400s and 500s, I'm thinking about my test that will start in about 10 minutes from now. I don't want to burn myself. I don't want to kill myself here on the uphill section. I want to put a nice effort to open my legs, not more than that. Obviously I can attack on that hill on 4, 5, even 600 watts, but that's not what I want to do. Again, even on the 5 minutes effort, I'm still measuring it and you know, keeping it steady. Okay, so just about 5 minutes at 315 watts, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted to do. It felt really good. It didn't feel really hard, so I knew I can probably hold around 300 watts at my FTP test for 20 minutes. Now what I like to do is, after that 5 minutes effort, is to take 1 lap recovery and take it easy. Now what surprised me here, that as you can see, these 4 guys passed me and rode together. I guess some people don't really care, drafting right behind each other, and no, I guess some people don't really care about social distancing, but that's their thing. And so I'm taking that 1 lap easy, and now we're getting into the real test, the 20 minutes, and I usually start it right before the uphill section. I'm doing exactly 2 laps, and I'm finishing it at the top of the hill. That will give me just around 20 minutes, and we're gonna start it right now. One of the most important thing when you're doing an FTP test, for those of you that already did it once or twice, is to know how to measure your effort. I knew the number that I wanted to hold, and I didn't want to go so much I didn't want to go higher than that at the beginning, because usually you come in fresh, you're excited, you don't really feel how hard you work in the beginning. You have all this adrenaline pumping. Now again, like I told you before, at on the 5 minutes test, I can obviously hammer on the hill like everybody else. I can probably put 400 or 500 watts right now, but it will ruin my FTP test because I have to do a measure effort for around 20 minutes. I don't care about time right now. Time is not important. I don't care how fast I am. All I want is to do a measure effort, and knowing I give everything I have for 20 minutes straight. So I'm taking a little bit easier in the beginning, actually, hoping I'll have a little bit more of an energy at the end of that 20 minutes to really empty the tank. And so this is why this first hill, all I'm doing is just around 300 watts, and yet again, as I said before, it feels good. I know I can hold it for around 20 minutes, and I'm giving everything I have for this 20 minutes, so enjoy. One of the hardest thing on an FTP test when you're doing outside is like here at Prospect Park, is the downhill sections, and we are getting into the downhill section right now, and I'm always losing around 1 to 2 watts there. So I'm always taking that into consideration, but that's part of the course, I guess, and you know, I'm adding that 1 or 2 watts at the uphill section. For some reason, there's always cluster of people and riders and pedestrians at the bottom of the downhill here. Can't understand why. And we're done with the downhill section and back to around 300 plus watts. Just trying to hold it as much as I can. Holding it steady, of course. And we are almost done with one lap. This way I know I'm basically around halfway there. As you can see, 9-15 minutes on the bottom there. So I'm halfway there. That gives me motivation. I'm feeling good still. I'm doing that hill, but I'm not hammering still. I'm keeping it steady as much as I can around the numbers that I want to hold. And at that point I knew it would be okay. I'm in 10 minutes into the effort and I can see the average on my screen. I have a normalized average power. I can see that I'm holding 300 plus watts. I think it was around 302 or 3 at that point, and I knew I can probably hold it. I'm not gonna lose that much wattage at the next lap, which is really encouraging. And again, but I'm being smart. I'm not going all out at that hill again, which is usually what most riders will do. Just keeping it steady. What a beautiful bloom on the left here. Hey guys, hit the like button if you like David Gilmour's guitar solo that's coming up next. One of the best guitar solos of all time in my opinion, played by our own Kfir Ochaion. Alright, so we're coming into the downhill section again, and I'm just trying to keep the pressure on, just trying to keep the wattage up, the power up, which is really hard on the downhill section, as every experienced cyclist knows. And we are right at the end of the downhill section on the second lap. From that point on, I know I have just about 5 minutes to go to the end. And usually what I like to do is to try to, if I can, if I have anything left, I try to bring the water just a little bit higher, just a little more. But as you can see here, it's easier said than done. At that point right now, I'm starting to feel it already. But the good news is I'm still holding the numbers that I had in mind right at the beginning, and I knew I can at least maintain that, but maybe not bring it that much higher. Okay, and we are almost at the bottom of the hill, which means we just completed 2 laps. All I have to do right now is the uphill section, which I usually like to hammer. If I have anything left in me, I'm usually upping the tempo. I'm putting everything I have on the uphill section. But I gotta be honest, at that point right now, I was already pretty tired. So I just wanted to finish it and do my best and avoid other cyclists, as you can see, just around me. So right before you're done with the effort, you're always telling yourself, okay, I'm going to put everything I have right now and I'm going to average just 1 more watt. If I can add 1 or 2 more watts, that will be awesome. And I planned of almost sprinting at the end of the hill. Unfortunately, there were too many people up there, as you will see right away in just a few minutes, which made me actually stop just a little before the 20 minutes were over. But all in all, I was happy with my result. Okay, so just around 20 minutes at 304 watts. Now if you're subtracting 5% out of it to calculate your FTP, more or less, that will give me just around 289 watts FTP. So for me personally, it's okay right now. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it where I am in the season. Considering everything else, I think I raised my FTP around almost 30 watts from the beginning of the season, which is pretty good from where I was. And again, depends who's watching it. Some people will say, oh, that's not a big deal, and some other people might say, oh wow, that's a nice FTP there, that's a nice fitness level. I'll say it's just, you know, it's an average good category 4-3 rider. You know, that's where I am right now. But anyway, for me, it's very personal. So for me personally, that's exactly what where I wanna be. I'm very happy. Hopefully by the next training cycle in about 4 weeks from now, I'll be able to break 300 watts. And again, for me, that will be great. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and be safe. I'll see you next time.